Hey, so I apologize for the crackling throughout the video. Clearly there's a loose cable with my mic, but I thought I'd just give you that breakdown of my bike, and I hope you guys enjoy. Hey, it's Hans here. Thought I'd just break down my 2018 250 SXF that I'd be using for the 2020 season that never was. Just an idea of some of the parts I use, why I use them, and what I feel is good for these kind of bikes. Starting with the front end, I just use a stock ARE that I had revaled for Hard Enduro by Jeff at GP Moto. They seem to be working great. I also combined them with a Hoosier MX25S front tire. Best performance tire I've had, but durability 5 to 7 hours and she's done. I've also moved my start switch from my right side of my bars to my left, added a Ride Engineering kill switch to clean up the bars, and Zeta levers for my open flags for when I crash. Hopefully they don't break. I've also have an Air Fork Pro which automatically bleeds the air out of my forks throughout the race, allowing that plush feeling throughout the whole race instead of a rigid pumped up feel. Behind the front number plate I also run a Ride Engineering damper. It helps keep the front end a little bit stabler and tracks a little bit better through some of that stuff without interfering with any of the turning abilities. Starting off, I also run a IMS 2.7 gallon race spec tank with the dry brake on top of it. It allows me to get in and out of the pits a little bit faster, possibly making that pass, and a little bit more capacity. Back down the side of the bike, I'm running the Chirby's foot peg boots. They just help the mud keep out of there a little bit when I crash, and allows for a little bit better performance throughout a race, especially when mud gets out there on the trail. I've also thrown a Trail Tech 100 plus watt stator. This allows me to run my big night lights. It also allows me to run a fan when it's hot and not worry about running out of power, as this bike doesn't have a kickstart. Running back down the side of the bike, I also use a Ride Engineering rear axle complete setup. It's the Honda style, and this allows a little bit more flex in the rear end and allows the bike to feel a little bit softer over those rougher patches. I had this on my previous bikes, and I've actually carried it over for about 3 or 4 bikes now, and it's always been a really good product for me. Currently, right now, I'm trusting a Traxxas system, and it's been raining, so I'm running a Shinko 525 in the rear and a 110, and it's just for testing purposes. It is not my go-to tire, but given the conditions, it's the one to be. Also, I've been running an FMF slip-on because our races require us to have a spark arrestor. This one's kind of been through the boot, and I've had it for pretty much as long as you can think, and it has been a great product, and it hasn't let me down since. I'm very fortunate. I hooked up with Jeff at GP Moto and MX Tech, and I'm actually running a full-on natty shock. I'm very sensitive to my rear shock more than my forks, so I prefer some of the best performance stuff around, and the shock has pretty much been it the whole way through. Also, on the right side of the bike, I'm running a titanium tip. I think it's Enduro Engineering, and I'm also running the stock clutch cover, also with the stock clutch in it. That allows me to not have any problems. So that's kind of the roundabout of my bike. It doesn't really tell you much, but it's there. Thanks.